Hi there, my name is Daniel, and I work at Google as a growth marketing manager, specializing in the search function. I've been working in marketing now for almost 9 years, and through that time, I've been able to gain a bit of experience about search and online marketing. Working as an SEO specialist for so many years has granted me the ability to understand more about how Google works, and that's exactly what I will be speaking about today. How to get your brand found on Google search. Now, the exciting things about startups is the fact that it allows you to connect with so many different users across the world. You understand your niche, you understand your business proposition. And the great thing is, in the world we are today, being connected digitally is more important than ever. So follow me on this journey and let's see how you can get your business found on Google search. Now, before we proceed, I'd like to give a quick disclaimer. This workshop is publicly available, and we're providing what we believe to be true and available to the public. We don't have a specialized connection to the internal search team, so the content we have is what we believe to be true, but it could also change at any moment. Results are also not guaranteed. Now, we've left the boring stuff, we can move on to the fun stuff. So what we'll be covering today, we'll be covering 3 core sections. Introducing you to Google search, why it's important, how it works. Secondly, we'll be looking at developing content on Google. And that's more about understanding your customers, understanding what they're searching for, and how you can create great content to make sure you connect with them. And thirdly, we'll be looking at a tool that enables you to understand more about if people are finding your content. Now, a quick question. Name one search term you'd love to rank for on Google. Think about it. And I want you to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the slides and understand how we can implement different strategies to help you to perform for that specific term. Now, firstly, I'll be introducing you to Google search. Now, if you look at the search results, you normally see 2 types of results. One is the paid ads that you usually see at the top, and the other are the organic search listings. It's important that you're familiar with this to understand exactly where and how these listings appear in the search results. Ads are usually distinguished by the little ad icon next to the URLs, and the organic listings are usually below. Now, the question is, why is this important? A quick question. What proportion of web traffic do you think is driven by search engines? The answer? A massive 68%. Yes, that's right. More than 2/3 of all web traffic is driven by search engines. That just shows how important it is to make sure that you and your business are visible online. Now, with many startups, there's always a push to see how you can be visible as fast as possible. And because of this, a lot of startups start with ads. And while paid ads are a great way to get that visibility, it's best to understand that organic search is still very, very important and relevant. Research actually shows that SEO and organic search contributes to about 53% of traffic to a website. So if you want your new business to be found, you need to make sure that you're not leaving behind the organic search listings. It shouldn't be neglected as part of your overall search strategy. Now, in order to do that, you need to understand the intent of your user. How do you reach the people that you're looking to connect with at the right moments that's important for them? How do you make sure you offer your services or your goods at the times they need them? And how do you know what they're actually searching for in relation to your business? Whether you're providing a good, whether you're providing a service, Being visible in the search results is very, very important for the growth and success of your company. Now we'll be looking at the search engine results page. What is the search engine results, or SERPs, as is mainly known? Traditional Google SERPs, as you can see, were mainly listings. And it's important to understand how these listings have changed over the years and moved on to what they are today. Historically, these search engine results pages featured only text-based results with the sponsored ads easily identifiable for users. Nowadays, however, you can see that the landscape is completely different. There's a lot more features, there's a lot more enhancements to the search engine results pages. And it's important for new businesses to understand how these different features contribute to the visibility of their brand. Now, we'll be going through a few common SERP elements so you better understand how visibility plays a part in your site's discoverability. The first is the brand results. Whenever you search for a brand online, you usually see the listing and you see some site links. This allows users to easily get to key pages on the site and to access either key brand guidelines or to be able to contact your brand much easier. Another part of that is a knowledge graph. As you see, once you have your brand known online, a knowledge graph can be populated with key information about your brand. Secondly, we have local results. Local results usually occur when users are looking for businesses around where they are. Whether it's from someone ordering a pizza or someone looking for where to buy the latest shoes, local results are important to direct users to actual storefronts. So whether you have one store or whether you have 10 stores, it's important that you understand the basics of local search. And this starts with claiming your GMB listings, and that is Google My Business. So I recommend when you have the time, you go online and you type in Google My Business and ensure that you claim your local business listing. Another important sub-element is your regular organic listings. So these are usually found below the ads and away from all the different features. And they form three key components. The first usually being the URL of your site. The second being the page title or the meta title of the page. And the third being the description of that page. So what the page is about and a summary of the page. Now, the great thing about this is the fact that you can change it, you can optimize it, and you can ensure that it's targeting the right type of user as you require. So this is a very, very important element of the search engine results page. Another great element of the SERPs are the content carousels. Now, carousels such as top stories might not be as relevant for businesses as they're usually more for publishers and for news outlets. But the great thing about this is it's still worth noting how this can contribute to your long-term editorial and video content strategy. Because ensuring that you have the right types of videos, for instance, and surfacing for those right types of videos can improve your visibility in the long term. Another great element is the feature snippets. Now, in more recent years, Google has really pioneered adding additional elements to these feature snippets, as they're called. And these are basically enriched data blocks that provide more information for the user so they don't need to click through to the site. These have been very, very popular in recent years, and they've ensured that users are able to find information very, very easily while still remaining on the search engine results page. Another common SERP element is the people also ask. Now, this is a list of different questions and queries that people also ask in the search results. You might see it when you're typing a question or you're typing in something about a particular product or service. Now, this is quite valuable for business owners as yourself to understand, because that gives you a greater insight into the different types of questions and queries that potential customers might have. And it allows you to create great content to ensure that you're surfacing for such questions. Now, understanding the SERP elements, we move on to understand how does search actually work. Now, as part of this, there's Google ranking factors. This section is not intended to be a guide on how our algorithm works, but it's more of an introduction as to some of the key elements that a new business owner such as yourself should understand about Google ranking and Google search. Now, a quick question. How many factors does Google consider when ranking web pages for any given query? The answer is, it's complicated. Google uses many different signals, and some of those signals change depending on the type of query that you have in there. Now, as part of that, we'll be introducing 3 areas that you could look into to ensure that your site is in the best possible position to perform well in Google search. These 3 areas are content, authority, and technical. These 3 areas underpin the most important things you should look at when looking to optimize your brand and your site for Google search. Firstly, we'll look at the content factors. Now, what is the main purpose of a search engine, in particular Google search engine? The first, to understand what the searcher is looking for, and the second, to ensure that they are connected with the best content to match that query. As an owner of a startup, we think that's important that you understand exactly what Google is trying to achieve via the search engine, and making sure that you're positioning yourself and your site in the best position to ensure that your customers can find your brand and site online. Another area to look at is how Google understands search intent. To do this, Google uses its rank brain. Now, a lot of how Google understands search intent is based on a variety of different things. Utilizing its ML, machine learning, and AI, Rank Brain is just one of the various technologies available at Google to better understand user intent with different customers. The way it's able to do so is to be able to see the content available on the page and match that up via different areas within the algorithm. Now, great content is a combination of 2 key areas. One is providing the right information, which means the most relevant content in relation to the query that's been searched for. And the second is the best format, making sure that content is provided with the best user experience in mind. You want a great experience for the users so that they can keep coming back to your brand and to your website, and you can build a trustworthy brand. The second, authority factors. We looked at 3 core areas, which is expertise, authority, and trust, which stand for EAT. These are the EAT principles. Expertise stands for being an expert in the field that you're in. So can you establish yourself as a subject expert through high quality and unique content on your site? Are you an authority? So have you been able to build high quality, relevant links with other high quality brands around you? A good example, for instance, you start a new high school. You might be talented or you might be very smart, but for you to be able to showcase this talent to others, you need to get the endorsement of other students and like-minded peers around you. Similarly, if you're a startup and you have a new business online, are you able to build that trust from other like-minded sites, and they're able to endorse you via backlinks? And then lastly, trust. Are you trustworthy? Can users trust the information on your brand site as being factually correct? Are you providing correct claims about things on your site, whether they're products or services? And can users feel safe whilst they're browsing your site? These are 3 core areas that form part of the authority factor and which can be optimized for. And then lastly, The technical factors. Are you mobile friendly? Can you ensure that when users come on your website via their mobile devices, they're provided with the best experience possible? Nowadays, the majority of users are using their mobiles more than ever. And you don't want to miss out on this wealth of audience because your site is not well optimized for a mobile experience. Everyone has an expectation when they're using the mobile devices, and you don't want to make sure that the tap screen or whatever you might be searching for on a mobile device is not accessible or it's not available. So you want to make sure that your brand website is as friendly for users as possible. Another technical factor, be fast. How many times have you searched for a website online only to click on it and it takes you 3, 5, 10 seconds for the page to load up? You don't want your users having to go through that as a startup. So our recommendation is make sure when you create your site, it's optimized to be fast. Stats show that 75% of mobile sites take over 10 seconds to load. 53% of mobile users leave after just 3 seconds of load time. That's a lot. And as you can see, 12% of conversions are dropped for every additional second it takes for your page to load. So the recommendation is when you are building a new site, always ensure you're keeping it in mind that it's mobile friendly, but also ensuring that it's also fast and fit for purpose for the users. A core area of being fast is core web vitals. So this basically shows 3 areas as part of the user experience when they land on your site that should be optimized for. The first is LCP. This stands for largest contentful paint. This basically signifies the largest area of the above the fold content on your web page that takes the load. The longer this takes to load, the slower the experience is for the user. The second, FID. This stands for first input delay. This signifies the first area when it comes to inputting on that page above the fold and how long that takes to load up. And thirdly, is the CLS. That is the cumulative layout shift. How many times have you seen a page load up on mobile, and before you click on a certain icon, the icon shifts to a different position? Now, this is all part of the user experience journey. And we want to ensure that for your business, your users are having the best and most optimum experience as they can. So it's widely recommended to ensure that the LCP, the FID, and the CLS are well optimized for when creating your site. The great thing is, it's easy to check your page speeds. Whether you have an existing brand site or you're looking to create one, what we recommend is going online to our Page Speed Insights site, entering the URL, and analyzing. And what that basically gives you is a result of your page speed. And it identifies the areas that you need to focus on when looking at working on page speed improvements. The next area to look at when we're looking at the technical factors is being secure. To build this trust element that we're talking about, you need to ensure that your site is secure for the user. Now, we have the HTTP protocol, which was the old standard, and now the HTTPS protocol, which is the new security protocol standard. It is recommended by Google to ensure that your site sits under the HTTPS protocol, which just adds that added layer of security for your site and ensures that it's not under threat or under hack by any third party. Now that we've gone through those areas that are important, such as your content and such as your technical factors and authority, we can dive in a little bit deeper into understanding how do you actually develop that content that Google will love for your users? How can you reach your users with great content and ensure that your site is visible? Firstly, we need to understand more about rich content. As a startup, First impressions count. And you want to make sure that the content that sits on your site is able to provide users with better understanding about your brand or your service or your product. You don't want your site to have shallow content that doesn't really describe or doesn't really provide an understanding of what you provide. And that is why it's always recommended to ensure that you provide good, deep, rich content for your user base. By providing this, you stand a stronger chance of being unique, you stand a stronger chance of being able to reach your target audience and of being more visible in Google search results. Now that you understand that great content is important for your site, the question might arise, so how do I create this great content? How do I know what to write about? The answer? Keyword research. Now, the great thing about keyword research is that it's an excellent way for new businesses and startups to understand more about their customer base. Whether it's existing users or potential customers, it allows you to fully understand what they're searching for and when they're searching for it. It allows you to be able to create content around questions that are generally asked, allows you to go more in depth in certain topics that have higher search volume and higher propensity to bring forth your site. Now, to be able to do this, we have a tool called Google Keyword Planner. So if you go online and you type in Google Keyword Planner, you're able to see our tool that allows you to carry out this keyword research and understand a little bit more about what different types of users are searching. And the great thing about the tool is it's not dependent on specific markets, whether you're based in the UK or you're based in France, Germany, wherever you may be. This tool allows you to understand for your local market, what are people searching for at a specific time. Now, just a quick brief introduction into Keyword Planner. It's usually linked to a Google Ads platform as well. So the great thing is, as you're carrying out your paid ad strategy using this tool, you can also utilize it for its organic search benefits. And organic search benefits is by understanding the types of keywords and the types of queries that you're bidding on to drive users to your site. You can also use it to understand what users are searching for, so you can discover new keywords that are related to your brand or your service. And you can make sure that you optimize your landing pages or you optimize and create content that meet the needs of these queries. The great thing about Keyword Planner is that you have a breadth of keyword data you can see. It allows you to understand about the average monthly searches around the queries. It allows you to understand what the changes are, even on a 3-month period or even on a year-to-year basis as well. And it also allows you to understand what the competition is for those keywords, both from a search standpoint and a paid standpoint as well. The great thing about this is using this wealth of information, you can actually create a suitable content strategy for your mid to long-term growth, understanding what your quick wins could be, whether through long-tail keywords, towards you understanding how you can rank and perform better for the short-tail, high search volume terms. If you'd like to find out more about how to use Google Keyword Planner, simply go online, you type in how to use Keyword Planner or Keyword Research Template, and there's a wealth of information available to show how to utilize this tool to its full potential. Now, if we're looking to understand better about content, then we need to understand about question-based search. Now, there's a lot of opportunities around question-based search because the majority of users are either looking for something or looking to understand something. So that's the hows, which, where, what, is, different types of queries that might come from users in Google search. And being able to understand a lot more about what users are actually searching for in regards to questions is an invaluable piece of information that allows you to tailor your brand and your site to provide those answers at the right time. Now, there are different tools that allow you to do this, such as Answer the Public. And the great thing about that is you are able to carry out that research yourself, and it allows you to understand what you need to create at the right moment for your users. So where else are your audience talking about your niche? Now, you might believe that it's on your site or similar sites that might have conversations around your niche or around your business area. But there's a wealth of information and there's a wealth of research that can be gained from looking at online community groups or looking at offline conversations. When looking to build your brand or when looking to build your startup and to understand more of what people might be searching for, you can use this kind of forums or you can use this community groups to understand what are the pain points of users around my specific niche. What are people actually searching for? What kind of information do they need? And am I supplying that information on my own website? Offline conversations are also a great way of finding more information. Actually speaking to your customers, carrying out surveys. These are great ways of carrying out research to understand what are the type of things people think about when they think about my brand and my service. And by understanding this and carrying out this research, you can ensure that the content you create is best served to meet those needs. Looking more into content, we can look at different ways of creating your content. So now that we know that content is important, now that we know that content can be researched and how to do the research, the next stage is how do we actually write the content and what formats can we create that content? Now you ask the question, how do I write copy for SEO? Well, it's not about how you write the copy for SEO. The main thing you're looking for is how do you create great content for the audience you're searching for? What we always recommend is not creating content because you're creating content for SEO purposes. Google understands what great content is. And if you create content solely for the purpose of informing and educating your users towards the purpose of your goods and your services, then that is great. And that is what we need. As a new business, you want to think about your customers first. Ranking well in search is great, but it's dependent on you making sure that the right type of content that has value for your users is what's being created. Great content is simply a combination of two things: providing that right information and making sure it's in the best format possible for the users. If we do a quick analysis of the landscape, for instance, we type in wireless headphones, we understand that it's not only the organic listings that are provided, we have shopping listings, and we also have the ads as well as the organic listings. So the question is, there are different formats and there are different ways to ensure that your brand and your service is surfaced on the search results. And then the question is, how do you make sure that this content is formatted in the right way to make sure it's visible to users? Now, understanding the landscape, you might have some questions and wonder, the SERPs are currently being dominated by big players in the same space as your company. How do you simply compete with them? Now, it's right to set that expectation that as a new brand, you might not compete immediately with these bigger brands. Your content might struggle to appear in the top of the search results initially. But the great thing is Google search understands unique and great content. And if you abide by the principles we've gone through, EAT, and the other areas regarding technical optimization and authority, you work on creating great content that is unique and is for your users, there's a great chance of your brand becoming visible and performing well in search results. And that's what you require for your mid to long-term strategy. Another area that might come up as a question is, what types of websites appear within the SERPs? Are they your competitors? Are they pages? Are they blogs? Are they informational sites? What type of results are being released for your specific needs? The important thing is to understand how Google sees your brand. So whether you're someone that provides information, or you've created a blog brand, or you're selling products via e-commerce, understanding exactly where your business is positioned allows you to better understand what type of content you need to create to engage with your users. As part of your research, you might also think, what type of content is dominating the SERPs? Is it guides, blog posts, videos, interactive widgets? There's so many different things that now surface in search results. And what is the best combination I could use with my content? The great thing is, there is no right or wrong answer. There's only what is right for your user. It's always recommended to see how you can create great content, and to make sure it's in depth, add in the likes of imagery, add in videos, add in guides, anything that can really enhance the depth of your content is always welcome. By creating deep, rich content that sets you apart from your competitors, you can really show Google search that your website provides the most inclusive and the most holistic experience for your user base. Now you might ask yourself, what value can your site add as to what's already existing in the search engine results page? It's never going to be enough just to repeat what another brand has done. The question is, how can you be more unique with your site in your niche? How can you make your pages better in search results? How can they take different forms? It might be in a design, it might be in the speed, it might be in the length of the content, it might be in the interactivity. But it's important to understand how, as a startup business or as a business owner, you can focus on the content and the layout and design of your web page to truly provide that experience, that unique experience for your users. Now, we've looked at many areas around content, why content is important, how to research content, how to create content and the formats of content. Now, we need to understand better the fundamentals of content optimization. Now, if we're looking at keyword optimization that lends into the content you're providing, let's look at the basics and exactly what they mean. Let's take, for example, wireless headphones. One of the important areas when looking to optimize keywords is keyword targeting. If I have a brand that sells wireless headphones and I'm looking to be a major player in the market and I'm looking to be visible online in organic search, I have a web page that sells wireless headphones. The most important thing is to make sure that whilst creating this web page and optimizing this web page, it is targeting the right types of keywords. Meaning, when someone is to search for wireless headphones or queries in relation to wireless headphones, my site stands a better chance of being visible and being found. By including keywords such as wireless headphones, for instance, in the main page title, in the heading of the page, in the page URL, it stands an easier chance of that page performing. Why? Because when Google search looks at my web page, it better understands the intent of the web page. It understands what I'm trying to do, which is sell wireless headphones to users. Part of that is also in the main content. So keyword targeting is very, very important in the actual page copy. Away from the headings, away from the URLs and the titles, does the content of your page actually speak about the topic you're looking at? If I'm selling wireless headphones, do I have information about wireless headphones on the page? Am I providing questions and answers regarding wireless headphones? Am I providing that truly 360 holistic understanding of wireless headphones that provides that unique experience for my users? As mentioned, we have areas such as the page titles and meta descriptions. How are these being optimized towards wireless headphones? An example that I'm providing here, by ensuring that wireless headphones are added in the page title when a user types in a related query in search results and they see the title of the business with wireless headphones, there's a higher propensity for them to click through and to land on the web page. The great thing is you are usually in control of these elements. So you can make sure that you create the type of listing that you want, whether in the description or in the page title, so that these can be represented well in the search engines. Another area when looking at content optimization is the user experience. And examples we've been using with the wireless headphones, we would need to understand better. What would a user feel about being on this page? Are the pictures in the right positions? Is the text clear? Is the user able to filter across the different types of headphones? It's very important when optimizing your website to ensure that a user has the best experience possible to ensure they interact with your brand in the best way possible. Functionality is key in search, and Google understands how a user interacts with a page and the importance of this. How much does a user scroll up and down your page? How does a user click on the different elements within your page? All these are different and important elements within the user experience. Now, you might ask, where do I start? Well, a wonderful tool that we have available is Search Console. I'll be providing a quick introduction into Search Console and how you can utilize this great tool, which is free, to ensure that you're able to monitor the performance of your site moving forward. Now, Google Search Console is an essential tool for any startup, as it allows you to understand how your site is performing in search. It allows you to monitor the indexation of your pages. It allows you to understand how your pages are performing in regards to page speed and other areas. It allows you to understand even more how users are searching for your products or your services. You can see different things like queries. You can see different things like the URLs on your site, and you can better optimize your pages for the best types of queries in relation to you. Now, if you'd like to sign up to utilize Google Search Console, we recommend you going on Google and typing in Google Search Console. You sign up and you'll be good to go. Finally, as a bonus, we'll be talking briefly about the future of search. What does search look like going in the future? And especially as we are in the AI age. Google recently introduced something called SGE, which is the Search Generative Experience. In the I/O in May, we introduced something called SGE, which is the Search Generative Experience. What this essentially means is just an early step in us transforming the way search experience is for users all across the world, utilizing generative AI. Now, search results will be transformed and organized in a new way, allowing users to get the most out of their search experience. There'll be in conversational modes and there'll be vertical experiences, meaning that users have to click less and are able to see and experience more from the search results. Currently, this is only available in beta testing in the US, but soon enough, it will be available across Europe and the world. For now, there isn't much guidance, but what we do recommend is ensuring that everything we've discussed today is taken into consideration whilst optimizing your site. Providing the best content possible for your users, making sure that from the informational queries to your transactional queries, you are providing a holistic experience for the users is very, very important. To the technical factors that are important for your site, so the user experience, understanding more about page performance and page speed, making sure that when users land on your site, they're having the best experience possible. All these areas and all the factors we'll discuss today are imperative to ensure that users are getting the most out of your website and puts you in the best position whilst we're moving into the future of search. Well, that's it for the session today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this has been useful. I know by implementing many of the things that we've discussed today, you put yourself and your business in the best possible position to perform well in search moving forward. If you'd like to find out more, go to Google for Startups Cloud Program online. Thank you.